Good evening, friends. We'll get started. Okay, just give me a couple of minutes. Great. Let's get started. Give me a few minutes, guys. I'm facing some problem. Okay, I'm facing some technical problem. 1 second. Hi, hello everyone. Good evening. Sorry, earlier I was not able to share my desktop, but now I am able to share it. Okay. Good evening again. We have covered everything that is required for Python. I hope you have enjoyed the session so far. Today and tomorrow, I'm going to do some extra things. I'm going to talk about what, we'll spend some time on plotting graphs. Okay, today. And we'll start discussion on machine learning, what machine learning is, what do we do in machine learning. Okay, so before, let's understand what box plot is. Okay, and then to understand box plot, we need to understand sorry, we need to understand few other things as well. Okay, so let's say I'm going to share my scale, Excel. Okay. Okay, so let's say I have some numbers 22, 15, 11, 65, 83, 73, 21, 70. Okay. So if these are the numbers, okay, I want to find mean. How do I find mean? Mean is same as average, isn't it? Mean is same as average. So here you can add each member, this plus this, okay, plus this, plus this. Right? And divide by number of values. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Divide by 8. So average is 45, isn't it? You can also use inbuilt function of average. And then you select all the numbers. Okay, you get 45. So this is how you get average, right? Hope everybody knows. Now, what is median? Okay, what is median? Any idea? Median is the mid value that divides the data set into two halves. Okay, so it is median is a number that divides into two halves. So to divide into two halves, first you have to arrange the values either in the increasing order or decreasing order, right? You have to either put them in increasing order or decreasing order, isn't it? So what I'll do, I'll put it in the increasing order. So I'll say 11, correct? Then you have 21, 22, no, 15, right? 15. Okay, out of 22, we have 70, 65, 65, 70, 73, and 83, right? Okay, these are the values, right? So to find mean, step one is to put them in the increasing order. Now, look here. So let's say you have three values this side and three values this side. Okay, so at center you have two values. There are two values which is dividing this data set, right? So in this case, average of this. So your median is going to be average of 22 and 65. So if you have odd number of numbers, then it is easy to find the mid value. So if I take same values here, okay, and let's say I add one more number 90. Okay, so in 90 it is okay. Now here you have 4 values on this side and 4 values on other side, right? So 65 is your median. So in this case, median is 65. It is easy to calculate. You have only one value. So if you have odd number of numbers, if the n is odd, okay, you will end up getting only one value that divides the data set. So this is 1/2 and this is another half. But if you have two values, in this case, if you have even number of numbers, if n is even, you will end up getting two values as a mid value. So in this case, okay, in this case, you are going to do the average of these. Okay, so here it is going to be average of 22 and 65, which is 43.5. Okay, your median is 43.5. Okay, now okay, so this is, so when you talk about median, okay, median divides the data set into two halves. Okay, then you have quartile. You would have guessed by now. Quartile divides the data set into 4 quarters. Okay, so now this is one half, this is another half. If I find median of this, now see here, median of entire data set is this. So this is your median, okay, or we also call as Q2. Q2, okay. I'm sorry. So let me. So let's say you have, okay, data set here, right? This one, okay. So first I will divide data set into 4 quarters, isn't it? So let's say, okay, I divide into first half, then, okay, this quarter and this quarter, right? So we have divided this data set into 4 quarters, isn't it? This one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, this is called as Q0, the minimum value. Q0 is the, okay, Q0 is the minimum value in the data set. Okay. Okay, guys, it is Python class only. Please listen, okay? Please listen, and we are going to implement it using Python. Okay, so Q0 is the minimum value. Then this is your Q1. Okay. So first quartile is called Q1. Q1 means first quartile. Then you have median, which is called as Q2. Q2 is your median. Then Q3. Q3, okay, is the, you know, it divides data set into 3 quarters. 1 quarter, 2 quarter, 3 quarter, Q3. And the maximum value is called Q4. Okay, so when you have a lot of numbers, right? Okay, if you have numbers and you want to visualize the numbers, okay, we will have to, one of the diagram that we draw, plot that we draw is called box plot. Box plot, okay, is something like this. So let's say if you have number from here till here, this is your maximum, this is your minimum. So you will have, okay, this is how the box plot looks. This is your horizontal box plot. Okay, you can have vertical box plot also, something like this. Okay, and you have here, okay. Now box plot represents the data set. Okay, this is your minimum value, or what we discussed is minimum value, or what we discussed is Q0, isn't it? Then this is your first quarter, right? And this is called as Q1. This is your half value, Q2, or we also called as median. Okay, this is your Q3. Okay, and this is your Q4. Q4 is max. So box plot is used to represent or draw a plot with, or to show your minimum, quartile 1, median or quartile 2, Q3, and quartile 4. Okay. So going back to our Excel, okay, so this is your 65 median. This is nothing but your Q2, isn't it? Now, among this, I need to find Q1. So here you have even number of numbers. So average of 15 and 21 becomes your Q1, right? So your Q1 is average of 15 and 21. Okay. Q0 is what? Minimum value 11. Okay. Q4 is what? Maximum value, which is 90. Now Q3 is the median of second half. So here you'll have average of 30, 73 and 83. Okay, now we will learn to draw using Matplotlib. Okay, so let's go to our pie chart. Okay. Okay. So first thing is to, because we'll be using Matplotlib, I need to call import Matplotlib, isn't it? Okay. So I'm going to say okay, import Matplotlib dot pyplot as PLT. Okay. Now we will generate values using random number. Okay, so let's try to generate now numbers, okay, using random numbers, or we can even read a data set, okay, from a table, and we can draw. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create 4 different values. Okay, and I'm going to okay, so okay, I'm thinking to show you the real use of this thing. I'm going to read data from GitHub. Okay, so let's see that. So I'm going to say import pandas as PD. Okay, now data set or data frame equal to PD dot read CSV. Okay, I'm going to read directly from GitHub location. Okay, so just a second, I'm going to open my GitHub location. Okay. This is my GitHub location. Okay, and I'm going to pick a data set here. Okay. I'm looking for, let's say, groceries. Can we read it? No, this is for association rule. Let's take a simple one. Okay, No, this does not have numbers. We have age, we have, right? Okay. We have age. Okay. Okay. I'm going to read this. So if you have to read from a GitHub location, you have to go to raw file list. Raw will give you only the values. Okay. So I'm going to read this value. I'm going to say, okay, I gave the link from there, copied the link and pasted here. So this has the data set. Okay. Now, if I have to draw a box plot, okay. If I have to draw a box plot, I will simply say plt dot box plot. Okay. And you give the column name. Okay. So I want to, now what happens? Okay. Now see here, box plot can be done only on the numeric data. Okay. So if I say data set, let's see what happens. Okay. Divide not supported for the input type. Okay. So there are some rows which have text value from string values, isn't it? Like mother, father, teacher, course, at home, right? These are not supported. That's why we got error. Now, if I have to do, let's say, age, okay? So I'm going to say data set, okay, age. Okay, spelling should match, age is small, right? And then I'm going to say plt dot show. To show the graph, I'll say plt dot show. So see this, it has taken all the data and created a box plot for us. So see here, this says that minimum age is about 15 years. 15 is about minimum. Okay. 21 is the maximum age. And there is one more for 22, and 22 has been identified as an outlier. When you see the dot, okay, or the circle here, box plot plots the outliers as circle. Okay. It plots as circle. Okay. So when you do that, what happens is, okay, what happens? The box plot is only, plot or only graph that will also identify outliers for you. There may be just one value maybe with 22. Most of the values are like this. Okay. So median is 17, 16 is your quartile, okay, 18 is your Q3, 21 is your Q4. Okay. It looks at the number of values. So number of values between 15 and 16 and 16 and 17, 17 and 18 are same, but 18 to 21, okay, let's say if you have, okay, let's go and see. Okay, let me see how many rows are there. Okay. Okay. So data set has 396 rows. Okay, or 395 rows actually. 1 is header, right? So it has 395 rows. Okay. Now 395 rows. One of the row with age 22 is outlier, right? So now we have 394. 394 divided by 4, what do you get? 394 divided by 4. Any idea? Almost like, 98.5, right? Right? What it means is if you go here, okay, I'm going to share the plot now. This is a box plot that we got. Okay, this is the box plot we got. Okay, and it says between 15 and 16 there are almost 98 values. Between 16 and 17 there are 98 values. So there are 98 students for age group 15 to 16, 98 for age group 16 to 17, 98 for age group 17 to 18, and 98 for age group 18 to 21. Okay, so number of values are same, just the spread is more. That's why this handle is long. Okay, long handle means the data is sparsely populated. Okay, so this is how we draw box plot. Okay, so this is the code for box plot. This is one of the important plot. Okay, for from data analytics perspective, you will be able to visualize the data better. Okay, so with that we wrap up our Python program. Now what we'll do is I'm going to talk about data analysis and machine learning today and tomorrow. Tomorrow you ask me any questions you have. Okay, so let me open my presentation. We'll talk about it. Something on a presentation. Just give me a second. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, of course. Okay, we'll just talk about it. Okay, I'm going to talk about what is machine learning, what do you expect. Okay, now okay, this is how the development has happened. Okay, now if you talk about artificial intelligence, this is not something which is done in last few years. Okay, even though we talk about it in last few years, but the concept of AI, okay, has been there for many years. Okay, even before 1550s also, people were talking about artificial intelligence, okay, or the robots. Many movies you would have seen robots, isn't it? So artificial intelligence, okay, is a way to mimic human action. Okay, so if you look at a human being, what do the human being do? They talk, they act, right? They take action, right? We take action, isn't it? So AI is about both thinking and making an action. Okay, so okay, so if you talk about robots, they fall, okay, part of your AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, now before you act as a human being, when we act, we need to think first, isn't it? We need to think. Okay, now how do we think? We think based on our knowledge, right? Maybe there are some situations your father may be able to think better than you because you have not seen enough world, right? But there are some things where you may be able to think better than your father. For example, in programming, probably you'll be able to think better than your parents because you have more knowledge about it. So our action depends upon what we think, and what we think depends upon what we learn. So machine learning, okay, so see, people, we use AI ML together, but there is a difference. Okay, machine learning is only about thinking. Okay, how do you think and come to a decision? Once you come to a decision, how do you act and act is taken care by AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, so artificial intelligence is about taking action based on what you learn from machine learning. Okay, now what is the most expensive thing in the world? Okay, the most expensive thing in the world is, of course, not diamond or gold, but is your brain, our intelligence, isn't it? So if you can develop artificial diamond, we have developed artificial diamond, isn't it? We have developed artificial gold. So because they're expensive, we have created a duplicate copies of that. Why? Okay, if you can't afford the original one, right? So similarly, we have artificial intelligence. When we do something, it is intelligence, human being. But since we can't be working 24 hours a day, right? We need to take rest. So why not create robots which can think on our behalf, right? And take action. Okay. Now, if you look at mathematics, there are two types of mathematics in terms of the decision they are making. Okay. One is called a deterministic model. Deterministic model is where you give the formula and you give the values. For example, I'll tell you add. So add is a formula, right? Add two numbers. Okay. I can tell you add two numbers. Now adding two numbers is called a deterministic model because it's called a deterministic model because we are giving both formula and the values. So what happens? The output that you get will be unique. Whether you run your algorithm 1 time or 100 times or 1000 times, 2 plus 3 is always going to be 5. Okay. Deterministic model, you know which value you have to operate and what is the formula, right? So formula add values 2 and 3. So 2 adding 2 and 3 will always give you 5. If I run my model today or in the night or tomorrow or after 100 years also, 2 plus 3 is going to be 5 only, isn't it? Now, where is non-deterministic picture coming into? If you talk about non-deterministic, okay, these are values which cannot be determined. Okay, so in this case, you are not giving a formula. We don't give a formula. If I ask you, tomorrow will it rain or not? Okay, if I ask you tomorrow it will rain or not, you will do some calculation in your mind. It is cloudy, it is, it is September, so it might rain, right? So you are doing some calculation in your mind and you are saying probably 70% chance is for rain. So you will say it will rain. Okay. Now you may say it will rain. I may say it will not rain, right? But if you put the formula add, whether you run it or I run it, it will be same answer, isn't it? But here, will it rain or not depends upon multiple factors. There's no formula. There's no formula that if temperature is 30 and wind is blowing at so and so kilometer, it will rain. There's no such formula like that. Correct? Chances of rain might increase, chances of rain might come down, but still, right? Many times they'll say that it will rain in the news and it does not rain. Last time it happened, they said that we will get rainfall after 2 days, but after 1 day only we got rainfall. So we can not accurately predict. There's no such formula using which you can predict. Okay, we have some factors that we take into account. and we use our intelligence. We use our intelligence, right? And it may not always turn out to be true, isn't it? Sometimes it may turn out to be true. Maybe maximum number of times it turn out to be true, but definitely not always, isn't it? So these are called as non-deterministic problem. Non-deterministic problem. Okay. If I ask you same question tomorrow, your answer may change. The situation today is like this, that it may rain tomorrow, but situation tomorrow may be different. It may be, sunny, and you may say, no, it's not going to rain. Correct? So in non-deterministic model, okay, we look at the probability. We never can say with accuracy. We always look at the probability. Probability of rain is more, so it will rain. That's my this thing. Probability of rain is less. That's why I'm saying it will not rain. These are called as non-deterministic mathematical model. Non-deterministic mathematical model. Okay, where you do not have a formula. What you have is only the output. Okay, and you are deriving the formula in your mind. Okay, so okay, if same example, rain or not, if you ask me today, I'll start thinking what happened yesterday. Oh, yesterday it was cloudy and it did not rain. Okay, or yesterday it was sunny and it did not rain today, right? So I'm going back with my experience. What happened? Okay, what happened last year? What happened year before last year? Right? I'm depending on my previous knowledge to answer you. So same thing, if I ask you a question, okay, if I ask you what is 2 plus 3, you will be going back to your school where you have learned addition, and then say, okay, this is how addition is performed. So you will say, okay, 2 plus 3 is 5. So you are going back with data. Okay, you are going back with data, and your output is based on what you have seen, not as a formula. But if there's a formula like 2 plus 3, it becomes deterministic model. When there's no formula like rain or not, it becomes non-deterministic. Okay, machine learning are all non-deterministic mathematical model. Okay, machine learning are non-deterministic mathematical model. Non-deterministic mathematical means that there is no formula and we are not sure what will happen. Okay, but based on our past experience, based on our past data, that's why data is important. Based on the data that we have gathered, based on my experience, when we talk about human being, based on experience, right? Now, if you ask a 5-year-old and a 40-year-old whether it is going to rain tomorrow or not, right? If 40-year-old says no, it's not going to rain, and 5 years says yes, it is going to rain, whom will you trust? You will trust 40-year-old, right? Because 40-year-old has more knowledge, more data. So you will feel that the answer that 40-year-old gave will be better, right? And more accurate. You will believe 40-year-old. But it is possible that 5-year-old can get it right. And 5-year got it right, not because 5-year-old thought about all the permutation combination, but that gave just a random answer and turned out to be correct. Okay, and it turned out to be correct. Make sense? Okay, so that is AI and ML. Okay, as I said, AI is about mimicking human action. Okay, and ML is about thinking. Based on data, you are thinking and then taking an action. Okay, what is deep learning? Now, deep learning is part of your machine learning. Okay, so deep learning also does same thing. Deep learning also looks at your data. Okay, but the way it is analyzed or way it predicts is different. Okay, deep learning talks about your neurons, how neurons transfer information in our body. from point A to point B, right? So again, it does a lot of iteration and you get. So deep learning, machine learning, they are same in a way that the purpose is same, but the way they implement, okay, is different. Okay, so deep learning is subset of machine learning is subset of AI or artificial intelligence. Okay, I hope you all are clear about what AI ML is and deep learning is. Okay, so let's take an example of artificial intelligence. Okay, now I'm asking, hey Alexa, what's the temperature in Jaipur? Right. So when I say that, my voice is converted to commands for Alexa. Right. So my voice is getting converted into commands. Okay. Okay. Then Alexa does the processing. Okay. Say, okay, temperature in Jaipur. It'll start searching for temperature in Jaipur. Okay. From weather.com maybe. And it gets. So to know that, okay, temperature, I should look in weather.com. For currency, you have to look on this site. For this, I need to look here. That is your machine learning thing. And then Alexa will give an outputs. The current temperature in Jaipur is 33 degrees Celsius, the action part, right? That's why it's called AI example. Okay. So there is not only thinking, which Alexa does, but Alexa also gives us the answer, output. So we call this as, okay, AI example, artificial intelligence. Okay. Now what is machine learning? In machine learning, when I say Sachin, if I write Sachin in Google search, the first name that it will suggest me is Tendulkar, isn't it? Because Sachin Tendulkar is the most searched name. So it does autocomplete. This autocomplete is an example of machine learning. You are trying to think what the user is thinking. Okay, again, this is an example of deep learning, but I just said machine learning, okay, is deep learning is the extension of machine learning, right? So you are trying to predict. In machine learning, okay, it is all about forecasting and prediction. What will happen? Okay, will it rain or not? Okay, what is that you're going to type? Okay, if email comes to your inbox, what type of email is it? Is it a general email or spam? Right? So sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't get it right. That's fine. Okay, but as you keep on improving, as you keep on doing well, okay, your accuracy is going to increase. Your accuracy will increase, isn't it? Okay, so machine is thinking what the user will type next. Okay, so that's an example of machine learning. Okay, deep learning, okay, I said it's again machine learning. Okay, but there is multiple layers in between. There is multiple layers in between. Okay, so I have a black and white image and I want to convert this black and white image to a color image. Okay, I want to convert, okay, black and white image to a color image. Okay, so you cannot do it within using simple machine learning or with just one step. Okay, you have to keep on checking. Okay, and you'll be mapping the shades and the color, right? And then after multiple layers, you'll be able to get a fully colored image. Okay, so maximum, many iterations we perform, then we get this. Okay. So what is machine learning? I just said machine learning, human learns from their past experience. Okay. When I say past experience, you are collecting data. You are collecting data, and that data you are utilizing to predict. Okay. Same way, machines are given data. Okay. Machines are given data, and data, based on the data, it is trying to predict. For example, okay, if you open any of these music sites, right? Spotify or Geo7, okay, or Ghana.com, okay, any of these website if you open, okay, based on the songs you play, it will try to predict the next song. It will say you will like this song. Same way if you're watching, on movies or web series on OTT platform, any of these OTT, Amazon and see Amazon, Netflix, they have thousands of shows, right? It is there, but how do we know what we want? How do we know what we want? Isn't it? We can't go through thousands of shows. We cannot watch 5 minutes of all the shows and figure out what we want. So what this, what these people try to do is, okay, what these people try to do is, okay, they look at the characteristics of the shows that you are watching. Now, if you have not watched any shows on the platform, if you have not listened to any song, okay, then it is difficult for them to predict. Okay, so what they'll do, they'll randomly take, which is, you're from Hyderabad, so they'll say, okay, which song is mostly played in Hyderabad? You're from Visakhapatnam, so which song is mostly played by people in Visakhapatnam, right? They will randomly give you some number, okay, some songs, okay, most popular song in your area, something like that, or in your language, okay, like that. Now, as you keep playing, okay, so let's say they recommended you 10 songs, but you played only 3 songs out of 10 songs. Now, the learning starts. Machine starts learning. Machine learning starts its work. Okay, so what is the tempo and the intensity? And to make it simple, let's say in music, we have only tempo and intensity. Okay, there are many factors, right? 30, 40, 50 factors. Okay, but we don't want to make it complex. Let's say we just want to know, okay, what is the tempo and intensity of the songs. And okay, let's say, the songs that you have played, the first 3 songs fall into green category. Okay, and the songs that you have rejected, they gave you 10 songs, right, based on your location or language. Okay, so after 10 songs you played 3 and you did not play 7. So it will try to figure out what is the association, or how are they three songs linked, and how are the 7 songs different from what you like. So we figured out that you like fast tempo and fast intensity. High intensity and fast tempo is what you like. All the songs that you played have high intensity and fast tempo. And what the songs you disliked is low tempo and low intensity. That means, oh, this person does not like low intensity and low tempo songs. And more, then what will you do is start recommending you high tempo, high intensity songs. Okay, without our knowledge, all these things are running behind the scene. Okay, and sometimes our mood is different, right? Sometimes, yes, we like to watch or like to see or like to listen to, say, light songs, old songs, light songs, slow songs. So when you start liking slow songs, that's when again algorithm will start working. Okay, and then they might look for the pattern. Oh, this fellow hears this kind of songs in morning and the evening. This fellow likes to hear this kind of song in the afternoon and the night. So so they are doing all this kind of analysis. These are all based on the data. More and more you play, more and more you watch, they will have more and more data about you, and they start making best judgment about you. Okay, so if you use a platform regularly, after 3 to 6 months, you will see that everything that is being shown to you, like, because because the platform, whether it is Amazon Prime or Geo7 or Spotify, has now know more about your interest than you do about your own. Okay, they know more about your interest than you do about your own interest. Okay, so that's how the the process of machine learning is. It will start learning slowly, step by step, slowly, okay, and captures all the relevant data. And after some time, okay, they will know more about you than you know about yourself. Okay, so this is what I said. Okay, you figure out that, okay, this fellow likes this kind of songs, and they will recommend you those kind of songs. Okay, so what is called machine learning? It says that a program, okay, a computer program, when I say program, computer program is set to learn from experience E. Experience, okay, now talk about human being. Okay, somebody who is in the final year of engineering will be able to clear job interview better than somebody who is in the first or second year of engineering. You agreed? Why? Because as we increase the time, okay, our experience increases and your performance will also increase. That's when you are saying that you are learning. Okay, so knowledge what you had yesterday, and if you have more knowledge today, that means you have learned something yesterday. Now again, tomorrow, if you have more knowledge than what you had today, before beginning of the day, if you end up getting more knowledge by today, that means you have learned something today, isn't it? But in case of 2 plus 3, there's no improvement, right? 2 plus 3 will be 5, whenever you run 100 times or 1000 times. But your machine learning algorithms, when you run more and more and more and more with more and more data, your accuracy is going to increase, improve, better, better, better. Now, probably today when you start, you will be 50% right. Okay. But as you get more and more data, okay, your accuracy should start increasing to 50%, 55%, 60, 65, 70, 75. Okay. More and more data is given to you. You are learning more and more from the data and you're able to predict. Okay. This is what we call as machine learning. Okay. So what do you mean by apple? Right? Apple could be your red color apple. It could be the logo apple, the logo, or it could be green color apple, isn't it? What is the difference between them? Of course, when you see them, you'll be able to tell, oh, this is Apple logo. Okay. This is, red apple. This is green apple. How are you able to say that? On what factors are you saying? Okay. We look at the characteristics. Okay. Same thing. How can you predict whether it's going to rain tomorrow or not? You don't have magic magic lamp or magic something, right? You will look at the characteristics. What is the weather today? What is the temperature today? What has been yesterday? Okay, based on all those things, you will say whether it's rain tomorrow or not. If I ask you what will happen in London today, you will have no idea because you have not read about London's weather today. So you don't know what will happen, whether it's rain or tomorrow or not. But in your locality, you will be able to answer, right? So that's what we call it as training. When you see something, when you understand the characteristics, we train ourselves. So machine learning analysis involves two parts, training and then prediction. First, you need to train on the data, right? If I'm asking you, okay, whether it's going to rain in London or not, you have not been trained. That means you don't have data of London. So you cannot tell me. You have not learned. You have no idea about London. That's why you cannot tell me whether it's going to rain or not. But about your area, about your locality, where you live, you have enough data, right? I'm not talking about whether you get it right or not. Okay. As you do more and more, you'll get it right. Right. But you'll be, because you have been trained, you know what happened in the past. So you will be able to predict better with learning. So when you talk about machine learning, okay, first thing that we do is learning. We ask machine to learn, or we train the machine on data. After they are trained, that's when we use them for prediction. Okay. So there are three types of learning: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Supervised learning is when again, I'll compare it to human learning and then I'll talk about computer learning or machine learning. When we learn something in the class setup, right? And I always this gives an example. When you were in class 1, right? You were taught that sun rises in the east and sets in the west, right? Everybody, sun rises in the east, sun sets in the west. Sun rises in the east because teacher said and you believed it. But when you come to 9th class, you realize that no, sun does not move. It is earth which is moving around the sun. Because Earth is moving, we feel that sun is rising in the east and setting in the. But later, when you come to 12th class, okay, or or higher class, intermediate classes, you realize that no, Earth is also moving, sun is also moving. Everything is moving in this universe, right? So supervised learning is to sit in a class and learn what teacher is saying. Whatever teacher is saying, you believe it. Okay, now this setup is supervised learning. I am telling you, and whatever I'm telling you, you will believe it, right? I'm telling this is what Python does. This is how machine learning works. You will believe it, right? This is, you're learning from a supervisor. You're learning from a teacher. Okay, you're learning from data. Okay, how does machine learn? Machine learn from data. Now, what I have, okay, which makes me a teacher for you. What extra I have, which makes me teacher for you? I have this extra knowledge about Python. Okay, I have extra knowledge about Python that makes me teacher for Python for you. Maybe somebody who, there are people who knows more than me also. People who knows more than me will not come to my class, right? Because okay, they have more data than me. Now I have some extra data which I am letting you know. This is called supervised learning. Supervised learning is when you provide a data, okay, to the machine learning program, and machine learning learns from the data. Unsupervised learning is when you don't learn, okay, from a teacher. You learn by yourself. Okay, you learn by yourself. How do you learn by yourself? Okay, when you watch a movie, you learn something about new place. Let's say the movie is based in New York, right? So you will know, oh, there's a, this building there, there's a this statue there, right? You'll be able to know more about that place. So nobody's telling you, okay, there's Statue of Liberty is in New York, but you saw in that movie, and now you know that that is there in the New York, right? So when we watch news, when we watch or we read newspaper or watch a movie, okay, we learn about new things and we extrapolate, we try to analyze, isn't it? So when we try to analyze, this is called as unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning is not from your direct teacher. We don't have direct data. You, of course, you have data, but this data doesn't teach you anything directly. Here I'm telling you, this is it, this is how you should do it. But that will not tell you this is how it is. Okay, it will tell you this is what happened. Okay, movie will talk about movie, but when you watch the movie, you are trying to extrapolate and you are trying to learn something about the movie or from the place or about something. You're watching a, let's say, old movie, right? You're watching about kings, right? So you will know, okay, this is what happened to the king 500 years back or 800 years back, right? So we are learning, and the what you call assumption, okay, is left to you to make. Nobody tells you this is what it is, right? They don't tell you the king was born in so and so year and ruled from so and so year. Okay, they'll mention the dialogue and then you will get those information. But when you learn in class, they'll tell you each and every point, right? So this is called supervised, unsupervised learning. Okay, so you have supervised learning, you have unsupervised learning, and third type of learning is called reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is about learning from experience. Okay, for example, you do something, and especially with the kids, right? They do something. Okay, the mother starts scolding. Right? Why will mother scold the the son or daughter? Because mother doesn't want you to do that. So you learn by experience. You do it. Okay. Okay. You do something and you fail in the exam. Then I'm sure next time you will not do it, isn't it? You do something and you get more marks. Next time you will do it. That's why we have this, right? Sometimes we don't watch India match because when we watch, India loses. So sometimes we say, no, I'm not going to watch, I'm going to go away, right? So what we are trying to find some linkage. Okay, not doesn't work always, but we are trying to find some linkage. Okay, So reinforcement learning, right? When you play a chess, okay, when you play a chess, you don't plan all your moves. Or when you are batting or when you're bowling, you don't plan that, okay, next ball I'm going to hit through the covers or I'm going to hit over the mid on. You don't plan that way, right? When the ball comes, then based on the ball, you plan to play a shot, isn't it? So this is called reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is based on the situation, based on the what is there in the chess. Your move will depend upon what your opposition has played. You will not plan that, okay, I'm going to do this, then I will do this, okay, then I will play this move. No, right? You say that, okay, if they play like this, I will play like this. If they do this, I will do this, right? That's how you plan, isn't it? So that's what we call it as reinforcement learning. So we have three types of learning: reinforcement learning, unsupervised learning, and supervised learning. Okay, there's an example, okay, which I'll talk about tomorrow. I'll take this example and we will do one algorithm regression example tomorrow. Okay, how was the session? Did you find it useful? We'll stop here for today. Okay, tomorrow I'll tell you about this example, couple of slides, and we will do one regression. Okay, we'll use regression and we'll see when to use which algorithm, right? Regression is an algorithm, classification is an algorithm, clustering is an algorithm, and we'll see when and how to use these algorithms. Okay, then everyone, take care, have fun. Thanks, Sharon, for confirmation. Okay, so we'll stop here for today. Take care. Bye, everyone. Tomorrow is our last class. Okay, tomorrow will be our last class, so please come.